that other lock, right? If I was to put this in, first I gotta loop the tool through, then I have to go through, and you need is a little bit. Welcome to the Lazy and Lock channel. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Thank you for stopping by. And if you're a returning subscriber, as usual, thank you for your subscription and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you all the updates on the MICROLOCS adhesive product that I brought to you all's attention, I think for the past 3 or 4 videos. So let's go through the contents of what you're going to get in the bundle, because the bundle is going to include everything thus far in the UVLAHKD kit that's going to get you going with being able to maintenance and repair your MICROLOCS. So the first thing we have on the list is the Loc'D AUTONOMY UVLAHKD Classic Blend. I don't care if you went 2, 4, 6, 8 a year without getting a retie. This is going to save your locks and is going to get you to a point where you don't feel like you need to cut your locks. While I was on my journey, probably like earlier in my journey, I've seen and I was looking up to some MICROLOCK content creators who unfortunately cut their locks because life happened and they didn't have any way to really get out of the rut with their MICROLOCS. So a lot of those lock creators who made videos on YouTube and stuff like that, they ended up cutting their locks and starting over new sets. My thing is, why do you have to do that? All you need to do is have a way to get on top of your locks. And this is going to do it for you. This is the classic blend. Also, the formula did change from the last time y'all saw it in the other video. The main thing is the viscosity. It is not as liquidy anymore. When that glue spilled on my locks, spilled behind my ears, I called up my chemist and I'm like, look, we got to change the formula. We got to make this more thicker. So now the formula is thicker. If you turn it upside down, even with the slightest of a squeeze, it takes like a big squeeze to try to get that formula out. So it's not just going to spill all over you, okay? You're gonna have to kind of put a little squeeze on it for it to come out. That's the major update, and this is actually the final formula of the classic blend. The labeling, this is not the final labeling. This is all a prototype that I'm showing you because this had to go through my manufacturers and stuff. So this is not even the final, but this is the final product inside. This is the final bottle, but the labels and stuff is not final, okay? Next we have, which I really love, and we thought about doing this because this is like your everyday, I just need to retwist, I need to do a touch up on the front of my locks. You know, sometimes you want that fresh retie look or retwist look in this case, but you don't want to do your whole head. This is going to be what you use it for. So your everyday maintenance, your everyday, I just want to touch up, I just want my edges to look nice, or whatever the case may be, this is what you use. When you have those locks that you need to reattach, when you have locks that by like the peach fuzz that you want to reattach, this is what you use, okay? This is another formula that we added to the UVLAHKD line, and this is the UV blend of UVLAHKD. Now, this is the UV blend, as you can see, is a different color because we added an ingredient in here that will make it be activated with a UV light. That is going to create a stronger bond than the classic blend, and that is why you want to use this for lock reattachments and lock repairs. We're going to have to activate this with a UV light, and in the kit will also be a UV light that has been calibrated, so its nanometers has been calibrated specifically to use with this UV blend. This is the light. As soon as you use the UV blend on the area that you want to work on, you activate it and cure it by holding this light down. I actually used it to attach these locks right here. I've always had thinning on this side, and what I did was I was doing really well. I was taking my vitamins, my biotin, and I started to notice that it was a little bit of hair growing in. So I wanted to be able to reattach locks. And this, it worked, but it would slide out because I tested so many variations to this, guys. Like, you won't even understand. This is why it's been taking so long for it to come out, because I was testing every variation. And what I did was I used this classic blend. I noticed it wouldn't stay in. I needed a harder hold. So that's when I discussed with my chemist, okay, let's do a UV blend. And lo and behold, that thing worked, okay? So if you could see now, and if you follow me on Instagram, you already know I did a pull test and everything. Those locks are still in. As you can see, I have new growth and I want to retwist these locks. Actually, I can do that now. I'm going to retwist these locks at the root. I wanted to save this, but since I'm here, I'm going to just show y'all what it looks like. So you're also going to get these tips, okay? These are the tips that you're going to use with your classic blend and UV blend. And it's easy. You're just going to put it on like so. The color may change, right? For now, it's pink. It might be a different color, but you're going to use this, how you're going to get pinpoint precision when it comes to where you want to add the glue, okay? So hopefully you can see this, but I'm just going to do a few up here where the new growth is, if you can see, right? And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get the pre-glue on the tip, okay? All you need is a little bit, okay? I don't know if you can see that. All you need is a little bit. Once you get that, you're going to just put it in. It doesn't have to be perfect. Hope you could see that. And this is me without using a mirror, okay? It doesn't need to be a lot. And then you're just going to twist the lock on itself, okay? This is the classic blend. This is not even the UV blend because we're not reattaching any locks. And look at that. Do you see how easy that was? Now, just to be fair, and I love being fair, you're going to get an interlocking tool in the kit. I was going back and forth with this, but some of you who get the kit is not going to, you need to ease your way into this system. So I'm going to include a interlocking tool in the kit. This is my old locker tool. So this is not the tool you're going to get. I love, still love the old locker tool. The old locker tool was the first interlocking tool that I bought when I first decided to start retying my hair. And it came in this little like tin kit. I bought the 4. I only have 2. I don't know where the other 2 are. And even though I don't interlock anymore, I just love this tool. I love it. I don't think that Araji makes these anymore. So it's Araji Tribal Remedies. I tried to look, can't find them. So I don't know if he still makes them, but it was a game changer. So you are going to get an interlocking tool in your kit. It's not going to be this one. But just to show you as a comparison, let's say that I wanted to interlock, let's say this lock right here, right? Do I want to do this one? Let's do this one right here. So y'all saw how quick I retwisted that other lock, right? If I was to put this in, first I got to loop the tool through. Then I have to go through and I have to find it. And I have to do this whole thing of pulling it through and all of this stuff. And mind you, you can still interlock using UVLAHKD. You can still interlock your locks, and I don't even want to go through and do a whole, I don't want to do a whole rotation, but just me getting the tool on the MICROLOC to attempt to loop it through, I could have already did like 2 or 3 locks. And as you can see, that lock is good. Like, let's go back to it. Where is it? This is it right here. Okay. That's it. I know this video is all over the place. If you're still with me, just comment down below. I'm still here because I really want you all to understand what this product is and what it can do for you. Because when I made this product, it was for you. I was in your shoes who just sometimes your locks just get out of whack and you're not under the care of a loctician and you want to kind of get your hair done in a shape that won't do more damage to your locks. You just want to have some overall control. Like, you don't want it to get worse, right? Because if you don't do nothing, if you don't retwist, if you don't get those roots like together, then your locks could actually thin out and slip off. So this is more of like, let's stop the bleeding. Let's get your locks in a space where you can do this really fast, right? Y'all saw how fast I retightened that lock. And let's just get your locks at bay. Like, let's not make it any worse. Let's not make it get any worse, okay? So that was that. Hopefully y'all like that little demonstration. On to the next. You're also going to get in your kit a dual cartridge pen, all right? Now, this pen is one side is going to be a remover. So not only you're going to get your UV blend, your classic blend, you're also going to get a remover to use with your adhesives. And then you're also going to get a nourishing, moisturizing serum that you're going to use on your locks. What the serum is, and actually this is the remover because it's more cloudy. And then this is the serum because it's clear. And the thing is, when you open it, the cool thing is you can brush on the serum or the remover, or you can use what I like, a pinpoint. So that way you can precisely put the oil where it needs to go. So where I just retwisted that lock, what I want to do is I would just want to go on that lock with the serum. And what it's going to do is it's going to nourish where the adhesive is. It's going to make sure that the part where you place the adhesive is going to be moisturized and is going to infuse moisture in that area. Not only that, but it's going to act as a gloss for your locks. And it kind of just helps to blend in the area with the rest of your locks. It'll make it a little bit more glossy. And it's really just to add a little extra TLC in the areas where you have placed your adhesive, where you place the UVLAHKD product, okay? So you're going to have that. You have the remover. You have the nourishing oil. And you're also going to get in the kit these finger cots. Now, UVLAHKD is formulated to be very gentle. And you're going to see once you buy it, you're not even going to need this. I use UVLAHKD, and as you can see, there's been nothing on my fingers. Like, my fingertips is good. But there will be some finger cots that's in the kit. So these are finger cots, and you just roll them over your fingers. And it's going to just add like a extra level of protection while you're using the product. When you're working with this adhesive, you want to actually make sure your hair is clean for sure. But if you are going to use these finger cots that's included in the kit, just make sure that you put the oil on the fingertips, because you don't want any dust or anything that may be attracted onto the finger cots, onto the lock. You can actually use the finger cots to rub in the oil. You could use it for many different things. Me personally, I don't really use it because I feel like I lose my grip when I use the finger cots. So I don't really, I mean, it's my product, so I'm so used to like kind of using it without the finger cots. But this could be like good if you want to, you know, add oil to multiple locks at one time. I don't think it's really necessary, but I did add it for those of you who may just want that extra protection. And then you're going to get a dredge needle in your kit as well. This is a dredge needle that is going to help you prolong using your tips. So when you get these tips, you're going to get these tips, and what you want to do is every time you use it, you want to go in with your dredge needle. You want to go directly in the mouth of the tip. And then you just want to kind of do one of these. You can add a little bit of the remover as well to the dredge needle. And what this is going to do is going to prolong your tip, because these you could use probably like 3 or 4 times. You just want to make sure you use your dredge needle to clean out the tip, get all the extra glue and the fine pieces of glue. When it does dry up, it won't clog the tip, so you'll get more out of your tips. And I think that's actually it. We went through the whole kit. Like I said, you will be getting an interlocking tool. I actually will say this, and maybe I'm hypocritical by saying this, but the UVLAHKD is not about perfect locks. Every lock, in my opinion, should be treated accordingly based on where the locks are in the head. That's just me. That's my philosophy. I know that a lot of locticians and master locticians probably will disagree, but I feel like you're not going to treat the locks that's in the back of your head the same way you're going to treat the locks that is on your edges. In my case, I'm going to be a lot more delicate with the locks that's in the front towards my edge line than I am with the locks that is at the nape of my head. So I treat every lock differently and accordingly based on where the locks are on my head. So me personally, when I get to like the middle of my head, I find that interlocking is actually easier to do in those areas, because ergonomically, I'm not like, the flow is just easier. So sometimes I will use an interlocking tool in those areas that is just a little bit hard to make sure that I get the glue in, and I really can't see, but I work better in feeling the area than physically seeing it. And yeah, you all, that's really UVLAHKD. That is going to be the product line. Shout out to the commenter who talked about intellectual property. So I do want to say that UVLAHKD is not only a trademark product, but is also a patent pending product, meaning that I did go the extra mile to make sure that my intellectual property was protected with this kit. And I did it for a few reasons. The main reason is because, a lot of times people just want to sit back and watch what you do, right? People just want to sit back, and they could think that something is a good idea, but because nobody's done it before, because it's so new and you can't wrap your head around thinking outside of what's been always done, it's scary, and it takes that one person to actually invent something or create a process or a method that will be acceptable, right? We first want to see if it works. And then once it works, then we're like, okay. Then the people who are spectating, sitting back like, okay, right? You just want to get confirmation. Once that confirmation is done, then you start seeing people trying to lurk around and maybe trying to add and take away from what the creator, the inventor has done. And to be honest, I didn't want to play those games because I got a lot of bashment from just using glue on my locks, period. And I'm so confident in this product that I made sure to protect what I needed to protect, okay? I'm not going to talk too much about it on here, but I will say that when it comes to intellectual property, right? And this is for anybody who's watching, who has an idea, who has anything that they want to bring to life. Even if you say something, the way you say it, how you say it, right? And you have a presence on social media, look to protect their intellectual property. I've done my due diligence with my IP, working with not one, but 2 legal firms. So this is a real product, you all. This is not just something that, I don't know, like people just be saying the most I could think of back to when people was like, I'm doing things for clicks and views, and this is not what's going on here at all with UVLAHKD. Like, this is up there. It's real. It's a real product. I look forward to sharing UVLAHKD with you. And if you did make it to the end of this video, thank you so much for sticking to the end. I think we're almost at a half an hour. So if you stayed to the end and you really got some insight, if this was informative to you, let me know in the comment section. And if you are interested in UVLAHKD, please, I invite you to join the inner circle at UVLAHKD.co. If you are on Instagram, you can just go to UVLAHKD, the Instagram page. There's going to be a link in the bio. When you click the link, it's going to take you to a landing page where you can put in your email. That is where you join the inner circle, okay? That's where you want to put your email in. Just join the inner circle, because I don't know if I want to make UVLAHKD public to everybody, meaning I might just want to close it off to like-minded individuals who are like me, who is not looking to get permission or approvals from anybody else with their locks. And I might just want to make it a tight-knit community. I'm going back and forth with it, but for now it is public because I want the word of UVLAHKD to get out. But once there is a certain amount of people that I've seen signed up and we get it going, we get it cracking, I don't mind going to a word of mouth type of deal, because what's for you is going to be for you. If UVLAHKD is for you, you're going to make your way to UVLAHKD. So at a certain point in time, I'm not sure if I want to keep it open. So if you're interested, if you are like-minded, if you are just like me, the way I was about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I invite you to join the inner circle and put in your email. Look out for certain discounts for when UVLAHKD launches. And yeah, man, that's it. That's all for this video. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you really like this video, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much for watching. And until the next video, definitely take care of yourselves. Be safe. And thank you so much to the supporters who really get this. This is almost 4 years in the making. It's finally coming to pass. And we are so close for the UVLAHKD launch. So thank you all so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.